They lied to us. We were told growing up that we could be anything that we wanted to be. If we worked hard enough, we could do whatever we wanted to do. And that's not true. And recently I've discovered that the world is completely and utterly rigged. In fact, against us to keep us away from being able to experience life as what it's supposed to be. Even working hard now doesn't even guarantee a decent life like it used to before. You used to be able to work maybe 40 hours a week, maybe less, and sustain yourself as well as a family. And you know what? You'd be pretty well off. If you were in an office job, you could, in fact, afford a really big house, have a family of 5. You could really do anything, go on these massive holidays and so much time to enjoy life. But now we don't even have the guarantee of being able to sustain ourselves with a 9 to 5. A normal life feels impossible now. Rent and food, bills, everything is so expensive and it's just rising and rising, and it's never even going down. And just trying to survive just takes up all your energy. It feels like there's no other time to do anything else. There's always the thought in the back of your mind that I need to keep finding ways to make money just so I can stay afloat. And going to school and getting a degree and supposedly a good job doesn't actually give you any sort of stability anymore. It's just really getting yourself into crazy amounts of debt and never being able to pay that off, and then probably never even finding a job. The job market's so cooked. It's like there's thousands of applicants to every single job, and even then the likelihood of you getting it is even lower, because knowing them, there's probably some nepo hire, someone that they just shove into the job somewhere in the company, and you don't even stand a chance of getting it because, well, they say, oh, you don't have enough experience, or this and that. And, well, how am I supposed to get experience if I can't even get a job? No matter a job, an internship, even unpaid internships now are getting difficult to get. That's how sad the state of the world is. People are willing to work for nothing just so they can be able to potentially have a job in the future that makes sure that they can somewhat live. And even if you get really lucky and you do somehow make it, you're never actually making it. You're just ending up in some corporate slavery where every day is just hell. You've got to give your whole life to a company just so that you can afford to exist, and that company can do whatever they want with you because you're lucky to be able to have a job with them. You can't just say, I'm going to up and leave and go to somewhere that pays me more, because in fact trying to get that job that does pay you more, it's not that easy anymore. In fact, it's almost impossible. It feels like the only way now to be able to make it, is to either be really, really good at self-marketing, like you see all these dropshippers and people who say, oh, look at me, I'm making so much money, I'm going on private jets, I'm living here and here, I'm going on holidays all the time and living the best life, and you can do it too. They're just marketing to you. That isn't real. That dream doesn't exist. If it did, guess what? Everyone would be doing it. It's just a way that they can sell their course to you so they can make more money, and you get absolutely nothing in return other than, guess what? More debt. And even now, if you have insane self-marketing, the majority of the time you're just selling your morals. You're exploiting people or exploiting something just so that you can climb this ladder. And what if I don't want to do that? What if I just want to live a life and have a job like people did not even 30 years ago, and then be able to have a normal house, a normal life with a family? But no, the world is in such a bad state, and it's just getting worse. And we need to make a change. We can't be going on social media and looking at all these people's lives and saying, oh, you know what, it's fine. These people, they're rich, they're free, so surely that dream exists. People do it. Maybe I'm not working hard enough, maybe it's not for me, but it's just impossible these days. You can't actually make it anymore unless, like I said, you sell yourself essentially, or you find the luckiest way to get to the top that could even exist. And even if you do get there, well, there's a high chance that you're just going to end up slaving away there too, because the grass is never greener on the other side. The previous generations lied to us. They ruined everything that we had. They took all the opportunities and then made it impossible for us to even grasp a chance at living the life that they got so easily. We've been betrayed and lied to because we got told that we could do anything that we wanted to do, absolutely anything. And in fact, we can barely afford to do a thing. And it's burning us out, and it's making us feel hopeless, and it's turning people to really bad coping mechanisms, and it's ruining our generation. People are unfortunately dying every single day because of this, because they can no longer stand the fact that there's no hope left. So we need to make a change. We need to be able to stand up against this. We need to say no to these big corporations who are making us slave away for just the chance of being able to live a normal, basic life. We need to make a stand, and that starts with us. A lot of people say, oh, I'm just one person, I can't make a change. You can. You can make a change, because if one person does it and the rest follow, then that means that the world is going to make a change. We need to stand up and tell them that we're not having this, because it's not right. We deserve to be able to live a life that isn't just slaving away for the small hope that maybe we'll be able to live one day. We're supposed to be able to live. We're supposed to be able to have the chance to go out and live our lives, go and travel, go experience the world, and not just be slaving away for the rest of our lives. We're supposed to have the opportunity to be happy, and they're taking that away from us. They're taking everything away from us slowly but surely, and we need to stand up against it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to stop letting them control us. They have all our attention. These big companies, they run all the media. They give you the narratives. They control what you see and what you experience. So you need to step away from that. You can't give it to them anymore. You can't give them your attention. You can't give them anything. You need to become your own person with your own values, and someone who can stick up for themselves, who isn't just brainwashed by the media or by the fact that when they tell you, oh no, if you just keep working hard enough, you could be like this person who's earning this much money, when in fact it just doesn't exist. So we need to stand up against that and make sure that doesn't happen. We can no longer give them the satisfaction that they own us and they can do whatever they want to us. We need to start rebelling. We need to start having protests. We need to start making them know that they don't control us anymore, and that the government and that these big companies are here to serve us. These companies are supposed to be making our lives better, not worse, so we can't be serving them and letting them get away with everything they want to. It does seem like some extremely difficult task to be able to stand up against some of these companies. But it's true, it needs to be done, and we also just need to stand up to our own government, because our own government's failing us. They're the ones who are letting this happen. They let these companies get away with it, with doing whatever they want to do, because it's in their interest and it gets them money, because the people in government are corrupt. We need to stand up against them. You look at Trump, you look at anyone who's in power, you can clearly see how horrendously corrupt they are. They will sell their soul for any bit of profit, and it's clear, it's evident. So we need to stand up against these people, and we need to vote the right people in. There are people who are willing to make change, and if those people aren't there, that you don't think they're the right people, and you don't think there's the opportunity to be able to vote something like that in, then you know what? Become that person. Become the person that is going to make change. Because you only live this life once. And if your life, and do you really want to live a life that is full of regret, full of just not being able to live? Do you really want to live a life that has no meaning and no purpose because all you were doing was just trying to be able to barely survive? No. Imagine you on your deathbed are able to say, I made a real change. And no matter how small, we need to remember that we have the power to do anything as a society if we join together and we don't let these people own us anymore. We have the power to do whatever we want to do. We have the power to change the world, so we need to use it. As a collective, as Gen Z, we need to come together and band against this just disgrace that they've left the world in for us. They lied to us, so why don't we make that right? Why don't we take back control and don't let them push us around anymore? It's time that we need to start a revolution. And you know what? It's time that we need to take control. They've had power for far too long. These people in power now, 70 years old, they don't understand the world. They're corrupt and all they care about is money. All they care about is trying to stay in power in their dying ages of life. That's all they care about because they're selfish, and it's disgusting. So we need to make sure that we're the ones making the change. We're the ones making a better future for ourselves tomorrow. We're the ones who are helping the future generations be able to live lives that are meaningful and get to experience things. This is our duty. It's our responsibility. We can't just sit back and take it. We can't. And they're trying their best to make sure that happens. They're trying their best to cover our eyes just so we say, oh, you know what, it's fine. They've taken all our attention. You look at social media, TikTok, Instagram, scrolling. They're killing our brains. They're making them numb so we don't have the ability to do this. They're trying their best to fragment us, communities, creating civil war, civil unrest. You look at the state of America, they're dividing everyone by party and by politics, when in fact that's not true. It's the same as the UK. They're saying, oh, these immigrants are causing the world to be so bad. No, the thing that's causing the world to be bad are the people in power. They're the ones with the control. They're the ones who can make the world a better place, but they choose not to. It's not because of some small minority or because of something to do with, oh, the left and the right. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's because of the elites. They control everything. They control how the world works. And now, I know there's a lot of pressure on us. Of course, Gen Z, we're tasked with fixing the world, with global warming. We're tasked with, of course, taking care of this whole political state that the world is in right now. We're tasked with trying to find a way to pave a future for ourselves to just about live. We're tasked with trying to deal with life in the advent of AI and all these other crazy technologies that are in the process of ruining our world because our leaders can't decide on if they want the world to burn or if they want humanity to live. They can't decide. So we need to do that. And it's a lot of pressure. But if we band together, we can do it. Don't give them your attention. Don't waste your time with them. Don't give them your attention. Don't let them lie to you. Don't give them your attention and don't let them lie to you. Don't take it anymore. It's time to move on from them. Don't take it anymore. It's not worth it. You know it's wrong. Deep down, you know the world needs repair. You know it's time for change. So let's make that change. Let's make it happen. Let us dream. Those dreams you had when you were a kid. Let's make them reality. When they told you that you could be anything you wanted, they lied. And it's time for us to take that back. To make them take it back. and give us everything we've ever wanted. I want to thank you all very much for listening. I know this has been a very serious topic, but I really hope that you do try your best to make a change. I want to thank you all once more for listening, and goodbye.